Choose Your Main episode 2. What's up guys, Petko here. This has been one of the most requested video to update the Choose Your Main or oats in regards to season 1, and here we are. Today we slightly updated it on stream and I wanted to give you a TLDR of what's happening so far. Now keep in mind, if you have never seen this video and you're just landing here, check out the very first edition. I talk about how each of these segments are being valued, summarized, etc. So best to check it out. It's like 2-3 minute explanation. And after that, it's gonna be landing here just to see the most up-to-date stuff. Now keep in mind, all of this guide will be great very soon towards the guide to nice events. It's simply because way too many people right now here, and the traffic is getting crazier. So I'm just gonna put it something like this. It will make things a lot easier for all of you, and you guys can obviously navigate and do whatever you like and check out all the stuff there. So yeah, anyway, let's update. So on the very top of the bracket, as you can see, based on the most recent changes and all of the builds that we tested, new stuff, etc., Demon Log didn't change on the very top of the bracket. The only new spec right now is gonna be Devourer. Now, a lot of stuff on Devourer DH and a lot of people asking me, hey, is it really that good right now? After the most recent changes on Devourer DH, and I've tested it multiple times, almost every day for a couple of hours, I guarantee you, chat, Devourer DH actually making a real comeback. So you get your measured cooldowns a lot quicker, which means every single pack you've got a measured cooldowns, even if you play the bigger meta, which requires you 50 souls. Your single target looks to be very good. Your AoE looks to be also very good if you get your cooldowns every single pack. Once again, it does require a little planning, right? The playstyle is still something that I don't enjoy just because of the whole trajectory of where the spec is actually scheduled to be. But that's just my personal opinion. Some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I don't like the playstyle, but I cannot deny how strong this spec has been on the highest of level keys. Once again, above 17, 16, 18, 20s on PTR beta. Looks to be incredibly well. On a 15, I could feel at times I couldn't get my cooldowns for every pack, but for the majority of the time, this looked very solid. One of the currently stronger DPS options. I wouldn't say the strongest, but let's just say way above average performer. Following the adjustment on Early Shaman. Okay, so Early Shaman went up a little bit. We've increased the single target by a little bit, and also the AoE. People have asked me which build does that AoE damage, and I always answer Fars here, Ellie, Mythic Plus right now is the best build. And your sustained damage got slightly higher, in my opinion, after multiple rounds of testing. Comparing with the rest of the classes, I definitely felt like I think they had like 6.5 score in AoE last week, which obviously is undeserved. And as we progress further into the season, we're gonna have more accurate options. Right now, I feel like Ellie is definitely around slightly above average performer, a lot better in my opinion for rate than it is in Mythic Plus, but generally speaking, not in a bad spot whatsoever, just because of the whole toolkit, the damage profile as well, the burst damage. There's a few things that I don't like about Ellie. The first thing is prior damage is pretty much non-existent with this build, and second thing, you are a glass cannon. You're gonna be dying on cooldown if you cannot manage your defensive options. And once again, Ellie has only one real true defensive, which is Astral Shift, and the second one is kind of like a pseudo defensive, which is the Earth Elemental, which doesn't really count as a like a big defensive, but it is something to help you survive in a dangerous situations. I don't think this comes as surprising, but Survival Hunter and Outlaw Rogue are sharing the first place for like the best melee so far. Those are the strongest melee so far. If I gotta be honest, I'm gonna even prefer Outlaw Rogue over Survival Hunter, just because in my opinion Outlaw can benefit a lot from the physical comp, just because all of your damage, like 90% of your damage comes as physical, while Survival Hunter still has some magical damage in their toolkit. Therefore, you benefit more from like stuff like Mystic Touch, etc. But still, Survival is insanely strong, whether it's gonna be single target or AoE. I would say the proud target damage, if they made the Wildfire Bomb do more ST on the primary target, like more damage primary target, that'll be insane. It will probably make the Survival better than what they already are. But overall, I would say likely one of the strongest versions of beta Survival we've seen in a long time. So I'm extremely happy to see how this spec is playing out, all together with Outlaw Rogue being the most dominant rogue spec right now, and also the most fun spec. I am looking quite positive here for rogues in general. In the middle of the bracket, I don't think anything has changed except for the Hunter. We had previously, I think we had ranked him as like 6.5 on single target, which I think is unjustifiable. The RC is not as bad. So we bumped the score on ST a little bit, so they came out as kind of like in the middle, give or take. Keep in mind this is only damage right now. I'm going to show you overall score later on. On the bottom tier bracket, or I guess around the middle, we see Shadow Priest dropping a little bit due to the AoE damage, sustained AoE damage. I feel like Shadow Priest is one of the specs that can really shine on like high level keys where mobs live longer, especially if you play non-misery builds and you pair yourself with like augmentation X, Y, Z spec. Shadow can really shine like the old school god tier comp. But I feel like if you actually put Shadow with 3 or 2 other DPSers, you most of the time you're gonna fall behind, especially for like those average keys. So definitely a very strong pickup for high level keys, definitely a strong pickup for raiding, but for your average level keys, I would say not the best option as of now. Feral Druid, on the other hand, it seems to be very mistreated by a lot of people simply because of their unpopularity, I guess. That's the biggest issue with the Feral. Feral does insane AoE damage, both sustain and burst. I'm very much impressed, and also the prior target damage. The only issue with Feral Druid is that your single target is actually beyond terrible. It is really lackluster. There's several things they can do to make your Feral ST better. One of them is to make your Apex talents do more damage on ST. Wow, the AoE version of those talents are actually pretty good. They fixed them a while back. I think it contributes roughly around 9% of your damage. The ST is quite lackluster. Rake, for example, is undertuned. They could increase the shred damage. They could increase the melee auto attack. I feel like if they buff Ferocious Bite, that's going to make your AoE or product damage even better. So I don't think you want to go there. Maybe just buff their shred and rake and let's say auto attacks. That could help a little bit. So definitely a bit of love here for Feral Druids. On the bottom, I don't think anything has changed. Parrot Paladin, Havoc DH right now, one of the most undertuned specs. I would say Havoc DH is actually in a good spot because the only thing that they're lacking is just tuning, which is actually good because the class feels very good to play. It's fun, it's engaging, it's a lot easier than the War of 10, has a very nice damage profile, has a good parallel slash final damage. The only thing that is lacking is just your tuning, right? Obviously, Felskar right now is the better choice, which I really dislike. I prefer the Eldraki playstyle, which is, in my opinion, more interactive. But, quote-unquote, I really hope to see some adjustments, positive ones, on behalf of Havoc on beta very soon. Although, pre-patch Havoc, I believe it plays a lot better. So, don't judge yet. This is beta, not really a pre-patch. Yeah, I mean, I can say about all of them. I can speak a lot about all of the specs. I do try to keep it like TLDR, like the biggest changes. You guys can check out the votes from today where we talk about for most of the specs. But I think that's pretty much the biggest changes done so far to the list. Again, this is not a tier list. This is my personal spreadsheet, my personal opinion. And if you guys have a different one, that's perfectly fine. I use this spreadsheet to choose my odds for every season. So I don't really, you know, this is not a gospel, it's just my own opinion. Once again, if you disagree with it, perfectly fine. I use it for me, myself, and it seems like a lot of people like it, so I share it with the community. This is the only damage score. I'm gonna show you right now. Overall. So this is damage, utility, and survivability without the fun aspect because obviously it's very subjective. So that's how it looks like. Things are changing a little bit, as you can see. Feral climbing actually on the top of the bracket, one of the better millies out there, just because of their every auto score being that high. I believe devastation goes down because of the prior target damage is like really bad right now because of the consume flame fix. Shaman also dropping down because of their prior target damage, as you can see here. Fire Mage actually on the bottom of the rankings, which is not surprising to be honest with you. Shadow Priest climbing very high. I told you guys the whole value of Shadow Priest is insane. And this is the overall score, including the fun playstyle. And yeah, Shadow even goes even higher. One of the most fun. I mean, you guys have seen the videos I've been putting in the past, been testing a shit ton of every single spec, and Shadow is definitely super fun to play. I'll be honest with you, visually, rotation, etc. But I just think tuning is a little bit wonkers in sustaining AoE damage to make it to like S tier. In my opinion, not really S tier. But anyway, tomorrow we update a tier list where we talk about powers, everything like that. So anyway, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for more information. And once again, live on stream every day at 10 o'clock Central European time. Peace out. See you guys later. Bye for now.